to the Filthy Frank Show.
Weekly recap. What's up, fellow nerds? It's Pison, your editor this week.
Hey guys, it's Alex, the co-editor and co-host of this Super Week recap.
Bet you thought there wasn't going to be another video this season, huh?
Due to Ben making a joke with how early week 1 finished and the puppet counts as puppeteering, the first 2 weeks of this split ended up being combined into a Super Week, where each competitor has to get 2 matches done in one real-time week. This means it's going to be hell and there's a lot of battling going on, which is great for you and terrible for us editors.
This means we have 16 battles to go through and probably about 10 minutes before Swan or Nando loses interest and clicks off. So without any further ado, let's get started.
Going in chronological order, we start off with Ben and the Hong Kong Bronzong. You try saying that 5 times fast. It's almost impossible. Facing off against Patrick and the Rodham Washingtons, who have the best logo in the league. While Patty has a strong start in killing Raichu before it can catch the wave, he quickly starts falling behind as Ben tanks out Mimikyu, Greninja, and Celebi with his Kingdra. Luckily, Sash Circuitry prevents Kingdra from getting any higher on the league leaders. While Coco quickly avenges the fallen, Regice comes out and utterly embarrasses Alolan Marowak, who lacks a fire move for some goddamn reason. This mistake allows Patty to not only kill Marowak, but also cleanly take out the rest of Ben's team with bulky Mega Latios. Looks like Ben got washed up.
Soon after this, we have Quinn and the Montreal Mudkips against Dan and the Golden State Warturtles. With both teams having the recently moved down Alolan Box Legends, everyone was curious to see how they would fare in the league.
Spoiler alert, one is broken.
Dan gets an early burn on Silvally to start the game, but Quinn retaliates by getting his rocks up. Forever! Thanks to this, Quinn is free to Whirlwind and Pain Split away, getting the necessary chip on Dan's team for Specs Salazzle to start putting in work.
I'm about to end this man's whole career. Boom! Bam! Bop! Bada bop! Boom! Pow!
Dan finally begins to wisen up and brings in his Altaria since Salazzle is locked in the Fire Blast, but by this point, it's already too late, as Solgaleo has already stolen the show. Get it? Cause Sunsteel Strike? Alright.
You rise with the moon. I rise with the sun.
Immediately following up this game is Pison and the Portland Trailblazers versus Bobby and the Denver Darkrai, the anticipated match of Week 1. Sadly, it doesn't live up to the hype, as my friend Pison overpredicts stupidly again and again and again and again.
And again and again and again and again and again and again and again.
Pison tries to get back some kind of momentum with Lopunny and an aggressive Barbaracle switch on Entei, but by this point, his immense loss is inevitable. Even the taste of pizza rolls couldn't hide the tears. We at Midwest Pokemon League are not sponsored by Totino's, but would appreciate if they offered us literally any kind of deal. We would accept it gladly.
Next up is Nando and the Shanghai Sharpedos against Swan and the Minnesota Vitinis, a match that forced the Council, aka Nando, to argue what qualifies as Evasion Clause and ban Bright Powder, as well as evasion boosting Z moves, but Bright Powder's more funny, mid-split, despite the fact that I brought up this entire scenario ages ago and was called stupid. But onto the game. Swan makes his Komodo dance despite the obvious shark in the water, and gets devastated for it. As Scarf Excadrill kills Zeraora in a surprise twist, Nando goes to set up his Zygarde in hopes of gaining momentum, which works splendidly as Amoonguss falls easily, Conkeldurr gets clocked the fuck out, and Vivian gets tossed on its motherfucking neck before Swan finally stops being a dumbass and sends in Celesteela, who kills the Whiscash with ease.
You planted grass?
When Celesteela finally dies to Zygarde, it looks like Swan is over. But wait a minute, what's this?
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Oh my God!
Why you bullying me?
Finish him! Fatality.
The next match is Tickle and the LA Lake Spirits facing off with Zack and the Toronto Bay Leafs. Zack gets an early lead by killing Toxapex, but Tickle quickly evens the odds with Kieran Black. After some back and forth, Clefable manages to take out its fairy counterpart, but Buzzwole once again evens the odds for Tickle. Zack sets up to revenge kill with Genesect, but that's exactly what Tickle wanted. Ditto comes out and puts on its costume.
If you're
Genesect.
then who's that?
From here, it's easy pickings for Aerodactyl to clean.
Following up, we have Mike and the Marseille Mawas versus my good friend Alex and the Chicago Chandelures. In a matchup everyone believed was predetermined with Alex's lack of hazard control, Alex proved our assumption incorrect. And worst of all, we never saw it coming. Alex gets up rocks as well, then gets rid of Galvantula before trying to set up with Kling Klang, but it just can't seem to break Feeny, who hides behind Reflect. Melmetal manages to kill P2 before going boom on Manaphy, changing the tides of this game. For a while, Mike seems to have the initiative when Decidueye kills Garchomp and Manaphy, but it's all a ruse for Alex's Miss Magius to finish off the remaining 3. Mike got caught in his own web.
Following this, we see newcomer to the league, Evan, and the Los Angeles Cloister. Los Angeles Cloister? Not cloisters. Just a singular cloister? There's only one? Okay. Facing Thomas and the Kevin Durants. An early Hurricane miss puts Thomas on the defensive as Evan gets rocks, a Toxic on Tornadus, and Glare on Bulu. The Schroeder family mascot kills off Tornadus soon after, while Wobbuffet gets a textbook usage to kill Keldeo and lock Heatran into Toxic. Thomas allows Cloyster to set up and kill Swadloon, but revenges it with Kangaskhan immediately to regain the edge. Back to a 3-3 game, but not for long as Kangaskhan kills PZ, Heatran kills Scizor, and it's a lone flinch machine against... But alas, Thomas chokes by not sacking Bulu for the second fake out, giving Evan his first real win. The body's generosity knows no bounds.
And rounding off week 1, we have Noel in the Orlando Magikarps against Henry in the Daytona Ducklets. With Henry having only done 2 new split games prior to this, and Noel being his classic Magikarp self, this match is sure to have some surprises. It's over. Commercial break?
Commercial break.
Are you struggling with the ladies? Or are you struggling with the men? Well, we have the perfect solution for you. Magic Date Ball, the dating app that gives you pickup lines for ultimate success. Download now. That wasn't too bad.
We still have another week to cover.
Oh. Let's jump right into it. Starting out week 2 is Pison and the Portland Trail Blazers, and after week 1 they are out for blood versus Zach and the Toronto Bay Leafs. With division matches starting up, this is where the season starts to heat up. Zach opts to keep Genesect on the bench. I don't know why. Our competitors trade racks after an interesting series of first turns, which is followed by Pison sacking his land OT to bring in Volcarona safely. Zach sees this as a choke, having revealed Thunderwave earlier, but...
It's a trap!
As Pison sets up a sub, allowing him to kill Swellow before dying to Tyrantrum. Jirachi comes in and does what it does best, taking out Tyrantrum and Mienshao. Darmanitan tries to revenge, but takes massive recoil as it kills Meloetta instead. From here, Pison just had to not choke after Lopunny to return the favor.
Next up, we have Quinn in the Montreal Mudkips against Bobby in the Denver Darkrai. Bobby makes an aggressive start as he tries to pass a nasty plot to Lando I, but fails to address the fact that he's in front of a fucking Hippowdon. The situation only worsens as he attempts to defog with Zapdos, only to be obliterated by Rampardos, and Lando tries to get a high roll on Rotom with Sludge Wave, but falls to Hydro Pump instead. To make matters worse, Bobby gets greedy yet again and finds his Mew killed by Solgaleo. Bobby tries to gain an advantage with the Hippowdon kill, but that's really just what Quinn wanted as Malamar comes in to sweep like Harry Potter in a game of Quidditch.
Dan fucking sucks.
Know your fucking place, trash!
have Ben and the Hong Kong Bronzongs facing off against Swan and the Minnesota Vitinis, the anticipated match of Week 2. Ben manages to kill off Eevee and destroy screens, but Dugtrio ensures that the game stays even. As the game continues, we see Ben innovating his ass off with a workup Tapu Koko that even manages to bring in Halucha because it was holding a shed shell for the aforementioned Dugtrio. Although John Cena fails to kill the rest of Swan's team,
just do it!
Easily cleans what remains, allowing Ben to make it rain.
Up next we have Nando and the Shanghai Sharpedos versus Evan and the singular cloister in all of Los Angeles. The only word to describe this game is messy, as both teams trade hazards with no hazard control. Evan has the advantage in the hazard game with a layer of spikes, but only gets it up after losing 2 Mons and having the Schroeder family icon weekend.
Go ahead, lad. Give him a punch.
You want me to punch you in the stomach?
Not in the stomach, lad. In the armor abs.
Scissor manages to avenge its lost teammates and take out Magmortar and Staraptor, but this is mostly due to Nando being numb and not going Zygarde, which happens in the following turn. Although Cloyster gets its shell smash off, the surprise factor of a Scarf Zeraora
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
stops the sweep. And from there, Nando secures the victory.
The next match is Mike and the Marseille Mawas against Henry and the Daytona Ducklets. Trouble immediately ensues as Scrafty kills off its designated counter Feeny with a shocking Z move, followed up by slurping up Mamoswine before Mike phases it out. Mike manages to cause some panic with rocks, but ultimately loses his Rhydon. Melmetal puts in massive work, taking out Pikachu, the defocking Crobat, and forcing a double down on Charizard X. From here, the game slows down, because Umbreon. Need I say more? And as Henry loses his 50-50 with Scrafty, Mike manages to win with a flame charge into V-Create. An excellent showing, arguably the best this week had to offer.
Now we have El Cuerpo with his Kevin Durant's versus Tickle and his Los Angeles Lake Spirits. See, that has an S after it because there's multiple in this large city of Los Angeles. A match that shouldn't have happened after Thomas called no takebacks on the completely genuine forfeit made over the phone. That's all we have to talk about this. The win goes to the body. All jokes aside, it was a very rough match for Thomas, as his entire team gets chipped by toxic spikes and the pot shots Tickle takes when he's not stalling. Since Thomas can't seem to find his footing and break the Toxapex.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy. Damn.
Especially after losing Zydog and Alakazam early on, it's not very hard to see how Tickle manages to end this game with a clean 6-0. Yikes.
And last but certainly not least, we have Noel and the Orlando Magikarps facing off against my co-commentator here, Alex and the Chicago Chandelures. Alex manages to assert himself early, killing Leavanny and getting a defog off to ensure that it did absolutely nothing. From here, Kling Kling puts in the work, taking out Mawile, Greninja, Haxorus thanks to its Z move, and dealing massive damage to Shaman before finally succumbing to the sweet release of death. Noel, run your calcs. Alex finishes off the remaining 2 with ease.
And with that, the Super Week recap is officially over and done with. Thank goodness. This has been the Midwest Pokemon League, over and out.